Hello, welcome back to Worldview Connections, Worldview series on Scientism. Let me start off this video being clear that I do appreciate science, and throughout this series you'll see that there is a definite value for science and great discoveries and making the world a better place with medicine, transportation, communications, so many other areas and technology and things from science. But scientism is taking it a whole step further. Some would say a lot of steps further. So I mentioned the word dogma. So there are examples we see in politics, science, and religion, but in this definition, a fixed dogma means a fixed, especially religious, belief or set of beliefs that people are expected to accept without any doubts. And I would add, when people in positions of power demand an unconditional obedience and loyalty to their policies, teachings, and creeds. So let's imagine scientists who are demanding this kind of thing. Do not question the authority. And in this picture, you see they're all covering each other's eyes. And even the man who has no left arm, the man below him is willing to cover his own eye to be conforming to the masses. In scientific dogma, I would say all knowledge can only come from science, nothing else. Science is all we need, is kind of the attitude you see in some of these examples of scientism today. Are there certain theories, for example, that we're not allowed to question in science? If you do, you get this social conflict, this tension going. Maybe somebody gives you a bad look or criticizes you. Taking it further, it's not only saying science is all we need, it's 100% materialistic worldview. It's hard atheism. So you have the worldviews of science conflicting with religion. In fact, that they'll say no religion. They're anti-religious as an anti-worldview, anything against that. And they'll just dismiss it as pseudoscience or paranormal, offering us nothing of value. The authority of figures of scientism, they have the mentality that it's a new foundation for learning methods, a careful scrutiny of nature instead of analysis of ancient texts, which I would say is good in some sense. It's great to have some multiple worldviews out there. I respect that. But they become the masters and possessors of nature. And so this really gets to a point of saying, has science become a religion? Does scientism have its own sacred text, quote unquote holy leaders that you can't speak against? For example, you have the Pope Richard Dawkins, that many would see clearly being their leading apostle, and his belief and faith the new blasphemy. So you have here the scripture of Charles Darwin, the descent of man, the doctrines of evolution and biology especially. In fact, I've heard astrophysicists and physicists say that there's not so much this dogma in their worldviews, that you see this especially in the science of biology. This guy on the right is a minister of science. He's holding up his, his evidence and his data as doctrine. Scientism is the religion of rigid, Gnostic, and militant atheism. That's part of my definition of scientism. So here's the Pope Dawkins saying, faith and belief are blasphemy. We need no religion. So the new atheists and the rage against religion, we've seen many of them. Daniel Dennett is not included, but him and Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris. We have Richard Dawkins literally saying in an interview, debate, saying, religion has brought us nothing good. Really? That's exactly an example of scientism, where religion is basically garbage, totally dismissing wisdom of the ancients, wisdom of history. And yes, he has been saying that, he has been known to say that we should study humanities and study religious as art or part of education in that sense. But we see other examples where scientism today is alive and well, as evidenced by these statements of celebrity scientists. For example, Carl Sagan in The Cosmos says, the cosmos is all that is or ever was or ever will be. So you see this certainty and this dogma, this knowledge that he's claiming. From Steven Weinberg in The First 3 Minutes says, the more the universe seems comprehensible, the more it also seems pointless. So we'll end on this statement today from E.O. Wilson. We can be proud as a species because having discovered that we are alone, we owe the gods very little.